The White House has set a January 4th deadline for large companies to comply with the federal mandate requiring their workers to be fully vaccinated or to test weekly. It's not just government, it's big companies. So the federal mandate is for businesses with more than 100 workers, and those not in compliance could face thousands in fines for each employee. Workers who choose the weekly testing option may have to incur the cost of the tests and will also be required to wear a mask on the job. Biden signed the executive order back in September as part of the Path Out of the Pandemic COVID Action Plan. And the move is already being challenged in court by several Republican-led states.
I didn't think of this, but somebody did, which is the government should also mandate that anyone who's getting any assistance from the government, welfare, food stamp, whatever, has to get vaccinated. Otherwise, you can prove that, we'll send you your check. You won't. They will never do that. Yeah. You have to kind of go, why? Why not? Because these are the people, if you think about it, the folks that are lowest on the vaccinated, percentage-wise, probably the food stamp welfare's the lower. I mean, at least whenever they talk about the demographics of the people who aren't getting vaccinated.
I think low income across all demographics is the lowest.
Yeah, and if you want to continue using these services, you got to do something for us. Get vaccinated.
So implement that as well.
Yeah, interesting.
Not going to happen.
Probably not going to.
But the logic of it is pretty tight.
I know, but those are their people. Like,
right.
Then this is where the problem comes in with the pandemic. You can't have your people, or these are unions, or we don't want to fuck with the teachers' unions, or we don't want to, but we will go after, like, if you're going to mandate it, then go ahead and mandate it. All the unions, everybody, including everyone who puts their hand out. And this is one, in my mind, it's like, all right, if you're getting money from the government, then the government can dictate something to you. If you're not getting money from the government, then maybe that's a separate conversation.
Yeah. And I was actually wondering if Dr. Drew has brought this up at all. If not, I would love to ask him. I saw something in the journal Pediatrics, I think it was, that I was actually thinking of Sunny, because teenage boys, when they are vaccinated, are seeing a little bit of a rise in myocarditis, which is heart inflammation. I don't know that it's fatal, but I know that it's heart inflammation. Has he mentioned anything like that?
Yeah, it really comes down to this for young boys. Let's just keep it at young boys. There is this myocarditis thing that happens, and it's rare. Some of it is temporary, but some of it is maybe beyond. You may take this into your adulthood, and it's rare. But then what's less rare is dying of COVID if you're 14. So then you have to go, well, one is really rare, which is the argument. Like, that never happens. That's super rare. That's right. But it's actually more rare to be killed of COVID when you're a boy, young boy, a healthy boy. So now you got to, if you're just doing the math, you go, well, then which one is least? And that's a factor.
Well, don't ask anyone at LAUSD because it's not an option.
Not an option.
I was going to say.
I talked to Garagos earlier in the day. So now there's some companies and they're gearing up because there's going to be lawsuits. And this is back to the vax mandate with the companies, 100 employees. By the way, there's going to be a lot of companies that have like 103 employees.
I got to let somebody go.
Bring donuts, bitches.
If you're at the bottom of the chain.
4, you got to go.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of this is going to be fucking paperwork and testing, and we're going to be on we're going to be on the hook for all the fucking files and everything. Like, there's not a company in the world that has 103 employees that doesn't know exactly who the 5 are who could fucking stop showing up on Monday. So you guys better watch your shit.
Yeah.
I talked to Garrix about this. There's going to be some lawsuits, going to be some pushback. He basically said Harmeet Dillon, who's an attorney who's been on me and Mark's show a little bit. As a matter of fact, I saw her at Mark's daughter's wedding. She's representing the Daily Wire. I think the companies are going to sue. I said, what are the chances of this working? He's like, not good from a precedent standpoint. All the stuff he's been doing regarding COVID the government's pretty much like, the judges are like, screw you.
Right.
We're not down with this.
And again, you don't have to get vaccinated, but you do have to be tested, weekly or whatever, and that cost might fall on you.
You know what's interesting? I just had this thought. I'm probably more impressed with myself than listeners will be, but we all know equity waiver. Mm-hmm. You know how?
For theater?
Yes. Yes.
Film?
You know equity waiver.
I do.
You know how big those theaters are?
Yeah, 99.
99 seaters. They just went, look, you get to 100 seats or 121 seats or whatever, you got to start paying people. You go, so what happens? Well, there's a bunch of 99 seat theaters pop up. Right. And everyone, when I was coming up, he was like, it's a 99 seater. It's a 99 seater.
107.
The fuck it can.
99 seater.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be an equity waiver vax thing going on. I think there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be 99 business. I mean, because, hey, look, if you have 7,000 employees, forget it.
It is what it is.
If you're Staples Center,
right.
No equity waiver. But if you're hovering, if you got to pull out just a couple of seats to get under that.
Right, like a Trader Joe's or something.
They'll probably do a corporate franchise, worldwide, whatever.
Who this would really affect with 100 employees.
I could go out to the car and pull some paperwork.
Garagos and Garagos.
Yeah, that's true.
Something in the neighborhood of 100 employees.
Yeah. There's right in there.
Well, that'll be interesting. We have a few more details on the Henry Ruggs crash incident, so I'll give those to you. He's the now former Raiders wide receiver. He's in that really bad car wreck and killed somebody. Drove his Corvette 156 miles an hour before crashing it into a Toyota SUV, killing a 23-year-old woman and her dog. They say he had a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit. He also had a gun. He was in court on Wednesday where he was formally charged with the DUI resulting in bodily harm.
The lawyers are going to do it's no different than you pulling out that gun and walking right up to the passenger side and putting a bullet in that young woman. Yeah, I talked to Garagos about this one, too.
Oh, sure.
So, a 23-year-old woman is not... That's bad.
Yeah, a lot of years
Much better
to earn.
79-year-old dude. You know what I mean? So young, they factor in. I mean, they certainly, if you're talking about a money payout, well, they really factor in like that person's age and earning potential and stuff like that. But no murder in Nevada for vehicular manslaughter, vehicular murder, essentially. Okay. So they don't have that there.
Interesting.
So they got rid of that. I guess they figured out, like, hey, man, we're Vegas.
Should happen.
We're on brand.
Everyone would be in prison for the rest of their life. We can't have this.
Yeah.
So they're like, they carved it out over there.
Wow.
So in California, you could kill somebody like this case, and then you could get murder.
Yeah.
In Nevada, you can't get murder. You can get 20 years max, but you can't get murder. 20 years might sound like murder in a lot of municipalities, I mean, time-wise, but
it's not life.
They do not have murder for vehicular manslaughter.
Also, I'm not being glib, but we've talked about this before. I've been the example multiple times. If there's any kind of jury situation and you remind people that he also killed a dog, that is a thing.
That's true.
Is it exacerbated by the drunk driving? Like, does that make the penalty any worse?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's my guess.
Well, so it's all kind of about what was your role in this death,
all of it.
And it's if you're sober and
not going 150,
piece of lumber falls off the truck in front of you and you swerve and you kill a woman in a RAV4. That's nothing.
Right.
You get zero for that. And if you're drunk, you get more. If you're twice the legal limit, exhibition of speed and all that kind of stuff, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
So he's done. I mean, that's just what it is.
It would take him
some
gymnastics, I would imagine, to get him out of this.
Well, he's going to get, I mean, he's going to, maybe he gets the max. Maybe he gets 20 years and then he does 14 years or something. And he's 37 when he gets out, or 39, or I mean, it sounds stupid. He's going to get out under 40.
Right. Well, let's see if you talk to Mark about this one. Because remember that story you told about the guy who got his laptop No. Yeah, was his laptop stolen?
Mm-hmm.
And then had to sort of double down with the cops because they knew he was never going to look for it. They were never going to
in
look for it.
Pasadena.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to see that story
Well,
and raise it.
He told the cops the guy had a gun
Okay.
because otherwise the cops won't look for it.
Right.
And then unintended circumstantial consequences, which is he then told the cops the guy had a gun.
Right.
And then the cops came up on the guy thinking he had a
Had a
gun,
gun.
and then they shot the guy who didn't have the gun, who stole the laptop.
Right.
Yeah. That's how
Well-
life works, kids.
This is sort of a one-upper, but thank God nobody got shot. A New York man was not confident that the police were going to find his stolen Mustang, so he made up a little lie to expedite the process of them looking. He's 32, James Reyes. He reported his red Mustang stolen and told the cops that a 7-year-old child with special needs was also inside the car
Oh,
when it was
my.
taken.
What year was the Mustang?
It unclear.
Wow, that's
The
going
John
to
Wick-
factor in.
It's a John
Man.
Wick situation.
You tell me like 89, 92, that's way out of bounds. We're talking 65,
Oh,
66,
no, we haven't.
fastback, maybe even a Shelby. Obviously, you'd put
Doubtful, which is why he added the special needs child.
Uh-huh.
So the report
No,
prompted...
it could have really wanted it back and known
Well,
the
that's
cops
true.
weren't going to make a move.
That's true.
But this all sounds comical, but if you really think about it, as the person that got their laptop or their Mustang stolen, you want it back.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And you know no one's going to
If
do
we
shit.
made it clear that the cops would just go, hey, we're not doing anything, then everyone's going to start adding special needs kids and guns.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, here's how it shook out. So they did find the car because they needed to save this child. And the 17-year-old thief who took it, it was about a half a mile away from where it was taken. So while being taken into custody, the thief told the cops there was no kid in the car. And that's when the officers realized that Reyes made up the story, knowing it would expedite the response. So the teen thief that stole the car was released to the custody of his parents, and Reyes was charged with filing a false police report.
Yeah. I mean, I get it,
against the
but
letter of the law, but let's an indictment against the cops.
Also,
Yeah, it doesn't make them
Doesn't
look very
reflect
good.
well
No.
on what you think their role is
Right.
and what you need from them.
did how does that, did he need to add special needs? You know what I mean? Like, what if it's just a standard 7-year-old in the car?
They can get away on their own.
I just feel
They know how to
like-
open the door.
Feel like he's gilding the lily a little bit there with the special needs.
We
I
really
like
wanted
the
that
extra
car.
flavor
Yeah, I was
of
going to
it.
say, someone has screened a lot of bogus calls on Love Line and want to go specific.
Yep. Well, good. Well, he's got his car back.
Yeah, but again, like shining a light in the wrong direction. Like what our takeaway is, so they're useless and they're not going to come unless they deem it worthy.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
Max Pata, what year was that Mustang?
I think we have a picture of it.
Oh.
No reports are saying.
What are we looking at? What is that?
Now we're talking about like not
87.
Yeah, maybe later. I don't
That looks
know.
like Hot Wheels.
It's just a crappy.
Yeah.
It's a crappy.
I had a couple of grocery store coworkers back in 1995 who had these Mustangs. They were like circa 1989, 1990. Just the ugliest,
Yeah.
slammed things ever. So
Ugh.
like, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
No.
He didn't need that car
Now, if
back.
the judge sees that car, there's an issue.
Yeah. So I know that you've had issues in the past with seeing women take a punch, like, female MMA and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe skip out on this pay-per-view. An MMA organization in Poland recently put on an outrageous event that's receiving a lot of criticism from viewers around the world because it's men fighting women, and the women did
Alright.
not fare super well.
Finally, we got our day.
The organization called MMA VIP was behind the matches, which it promoted as freak fights. They pitted untrained men against untrained women, and the fights seemed to end up with the men pummeling the women. I have a clip. This is just two yokels, this man and this woman. Once she kind of got him on the ground, but he flipped her, and then here we go.
Jest dosyć znaczna po stronie
It's just
Lisowskiego.
looks MMA. I mean,
She's she's hitting him in the back of the head.
She's hitting him repeatedly. He looks annoyed.
Yes.
nobody has training, huh?
No.
Preening.
Now he's just in the face over.
Yeah.
They call it.
Yeah.
And she got up.
Yeah. Not a fan.
She tells
But
the cops, Sheena.
the sort of pioneer in this was Joey Buttafuoco fighting China back in the day.
Which I didn't like because didn't China not prevail? And she kind of should have.
China did not prevail, and she still hasn't.
Right.
But the thing that was funny was Joey was doing like dirty boxing,
Yeah.
like threw her down on the ground and was holding her hair and punching her and stuff. Like he did not disappoint at all.
POS, man.
Brand.
But
Yeah.
it was here in the States,
Yeah.
and it was a combat sport, and it was a dude fighting a chick.
Could you fight a trained MMA fighter?
I was asked to fight China. I remember exactly where I was.
Cloud 9.
That's right. Stole this Mustang with this retarded dude in it, and I was speeding down. We were in Florida. I was with Jimmy. It was the celebrity boxing craze thing was going on. I was driving. We were driving from our hotel to a swamp boat to go like out. We did a man show bit, alligator wrangler, whatever. I unfortunately was doing Loveline from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. with the time difference. So I was knocking off at whatever our Florida affiliate was, driving 40 minutes to the hotel, walking back into the hotel at 3:45, and it was one of those, we're meeting the lobby at 6, and then we got to drive down to the Okefenokee Swamp. It's about an hour and 10 minutes away, and then we're going to get on a fan boat with a guy named Gus. And I was just like, I'm so fucking tired. The part where your brain can't even find it.
can't think.
Hey, I'm supposed to be doing a funny and on my feet and screwing with this guy and out on a swamp and a fan boat and everything. And I was just gassed. But driving home from that, I got the call from the celebrity boxing, whatever. And they were telling me, like, you used to box, you should fight China. That was the whole discussion.
What Chinese guy now?
Yeah, that's because my brain wasn't working.
For the whole country.
I had a couple of thoughts. She's like, oh, gee, she's a tough customer. She's tough. She's big and strong. I was like, well, how big is she? She's 5'11", 190 pounds. That was their selling point.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm 6'2" and I'm 205 pounds.
Right.
So it's not like she's bigger than I am. And I used to teach boxing. So I don't. But then I just said, look, either I'm going to knock her out, then I'm going to look like an asshole, or she's going to knock me out. I'm never going to be able to leave the house.
That's true.
So
There's no upside for
where
you.
is the upside
There's
here
levels, yeah.
for me? So I passed on it.
Villain or pussy? Not good options.
And they got Buttafuoco.
Villain.
I hope they called 3 people before they got to Buttafuoco. I hope it wasn't like, we got to the
option
bottom
B.
of the list. Donnie Osmond,
Who's
that was a
next?
hard pass. Jimmy Osmond, that was a hard. All the Osmonds. Let's go ahead and draw a line then.
Yeah.
Marie Osmond. Oh, yeah, sorry. Said Tim. I
Dustin
said all.
Diamond said
That's
no,
it.
yeah.
That was a hard pass.
Norm McDonald didn't
That's
answer
a
the
hard
phone.
pass.
Pass.
Bonaducci's fighting a kangaroo. That's a prelim, so we can't go to
Leif Garrett's
him.
not
Leif
really all
Garrett.
with it. He's
Well,
not really an
I
option.
couldn't really understand it, but it sounded like a hard pass to me. And then we
Tito
got some of those
Jackson,
older
Jermaine.
guys from the soccer team who decided to survive the plane crash where they ate each other.
In the Indies?
Yeah, 3 of those guys.
Okay.
That was a hard. I threw an interpreter, obviously. That was a hard pass. All right, we got Corolla and Buttafuoco.
Flip a coin for who you're
Yeah.
going to call
Yeah, I
first.
know we're
Give me
calling
that
first.
quarter.
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, it's called Corolla. All right, hard pass with Corolla. Well, actually, I had questions, but all right.
How much worse would it be if Buttafuoco was playing hardball?
Yeah, all right. Call Buttafuoco. Yeah, I pray there was like 3 people in between me and Buttafuoco at that time, but we don't know.
That would haunt me. No offense.
I never thought about it until this second. 'Cause he ended up fighting her, so they got to him.
And Artie
Wow.
Lang's in rehab.
That's
Can't
right.
do that, yeah.
Or maybe it's a situation of like, while we're waiting for Buttafuoco to call us back, let's just call Corolla.
Yeah.
Maybe he was above me.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was playing
Maybe we could
hardball.
leverage this and
Oh, you're
undercut
right.
Buttafuoco.
Don't make us call it John Wayne Bobbitt. We'll do it.
Yeah, to be on there.
In the annals of history, can we even tell them apart, John Wayne Bobbitt and Joey Buttafuoco? If you just sampled
If
random
they're in
people.
the shower, we could probably tell.
That's true. But I mean, historically, don't we mix them up in our heads?
Yeah, they're all. Yeah,
All
China died in 2016. What year did Buttafuoco fight her?
COVID.
Felt like it was a little while after
She
They
died.
tried to set me up.
2006.
Oh, we just started the radio show. Who knew?
There's a clip between. Oh wait, no, sorry, 2002. The article was from 2000.
I didn't want to jump in, but
Okay.
this was during the Man Show, so
Right.
it had to be
2002.
2002. Would have been, yeah, that was like last season or one of the
Yeah, you don't go out
later
that way.
things we did was go out to the swamp.
Right.
Yeah, if you're going to find any footage of that, it's breathtaking.
Taking.
Well, but I look, she ran into the same thing she would have ran into with me, which is
Couple of fists.
Yeah. But a Fuko, not a small dude.
Yeah.
He was a big old tall glass of swamp
was
water,
burly.
and it was a big burly barrel-chested dude, and he took every bit of advantage of it. Let's talk to Julio, 32 from Reno. Julio.
Hi, sorry. I work in a casino. I just got off,
Ooh.
so I'm going outside.
What do you do at the casino, Julio? You a dealer? You
Pit boss.
boxman? Pitman?
No, I actually just worked at a warehouse. I used to be a bartender, but I got sick of that nightlife.
Oh, it's a good gig.
So, yeah, I'll be outside and you might hear some traffic.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, accidentally cock blocking a friend.
Yeah.
What happened?
So it was a guy's trip to San Diego, and I'm telling this story to this girl that we're meeting here in Reno about this guy's trip. I'm in the back with another friend, let's call him Matt. In the front of those trams or trains that go through the Gaslight District is two other friends. Let's call them Chris and Gary.
That's exactly what I was going to suggest.
And elderly couple comes on with groceries. They don't offer their seats. Someone else does. So then they sit down and start peeling oranges for them. And I think if you look in the engineering room, you're going to see a beet red Max Zapata and either a laughing Kalen or Dawson.
They
did
look
did
very
happen?
confused.
Did this happen in real life?
Max
yeah,
Zapata?
this is a ruse for you to ask Max Zapata and Gary about this story they told.
we
These
told
are
a story on a
dark days.
podcast, like on Gary's bachelor party. Gary, Matt, and myself took the train back home, and there was an old couple. And
Took a train from Reno to LA?
No, from San Diego. We were in San Diego, the Pacific Surf
Surfliner.
Liner. And
I'm sorry. I said Reno something.
and there's an old couple standing, and Gary didn't give up his seat.
That's very un-Gary.
Yeah.
He was hungover and he was tired.
Whoa, wait a second. Was he beating off?
Because then he gets a pass.
I can't confirm nor deny any of that. You can get him in here.
Okay.
we're good.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
Should we continue?
Yes.
All right. Gwyneth Paltrow. A lot of people are already shopping for Christmas stuff, which actually is not a bad idea. Oh, wait,
got
breaking
Joey.
news. We got the fight.
Yeah, we got it.
Hi, Gary.
Just to make up some ground here in round three.
Full face mask.
Well, China did land a good pop.
She did land a good straight right.
It woke up the beast.
Yeah.
By Fuko.
He's just bullying her around the room.
Well, he's got 40, 50 pounds on her, you know. And also, someone needed to explain that, you know, wrestling is not Layla Ali. It's
Right.
she wrestles. It's fake. I mean, they're athletes, but they're
Is anything illegal in this fight?
not with Buttafuoco.
good taste.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, let's get back to some Christmas shopping. First of all, I do recommend you get on this shit because there are some shipping container problems. So you probably want to order early. And Gwyneth has some suggestions on her Goop list that I thought you might enjoy. This is the holiday list for 2021, and I have two highlights from last year. So these are not jokes. These are on the list of things that she would very much like you to buy. The first one, a $34,000 jungle gym for your little angel, completed with gold-plated accents, and the site says it has rich mom energy. I think we have a picture of that.
It's not. Doesn't consider that garish.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's getting away with a lot for like a wellness brand.
Right.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Her brand is very spiritual, very wellness, very woo woo, for lack of a better term. And this is a little gauche, a little
Well,
garish.
Real Housewives. Let's continue, shall we? People who doesn't love sledding.
By the way,
yeah.
this is 32,000 euro?
Yeah, so about 34,000 they're estimating it at.
Yeah, I think it may be. I'm not sure where the euro is, but it may be even more than that. But anyway.
Very possible. Well, back in our day, you either just get yourself a little plastic sled from the drugstore, or you'd use a trash can lid. That is not going to fly these days. There's a Chanel branded sled on the site for $10,500.
That's the one from Christmas Vacation.
Oh, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Now, this is something I thought you'd be interested in, Adam. If you want to upgrade your garden hose, Gwyneth
yeah.
has suggestions because we all know she's really into landscaping. For $300, you can get her fancy garden hose.
Yeah. Well,
Right,
Is it
for a good
fancy?
garden hose.
out of these items, yeah.
Air Jordan sneaker making class, you can buy that for $5,000.
You can make your own Air Jordan.
Yeah,
But
for $5,000.
what about all the kids in China, who are just in the factory making the Air
I'm doing
Jordans?
this for $8 a day.
Right.
I'll pay you to do this. And if this is all a little rich for your blood, there's stuff that's a little bit cheaper. She has personal items like an ultra plush self-heating G-spot vibrator. That's $90. And an Awakening the Pleasure Body. It's an online course for $400. Last year on her gift guide, it included a $2,000 Ouija board and a $200 lamp made of bread.
What, we know she's successful.
Fuck
Is
yeah.
she really making money off of these items, or is it
I
just
think
kind of a interesting brand story, gets us to talk about it kind of thing?
Okay, these items, who knows, because it just came out, but I know for a fact she's selling a lot of the Goop stuff, the skincare and
The
the
candle.
whatever. Yeah, the candle perhaps, but definitely the skincare stuff is fucking killing it.
And she might be doing, this might just be well-placed advertising. She doesn't get a cut of the jungle gym.
Would we like to find out what 32,000 euro translates into? It's bothering me now. I think it's more. Would we like to be married to Gwyneth Paltrow, or would it just be too much work?
Married to Gwyneth? I'd rather
Yeah.
be Gwyneth than marry Gwyneth.
That's a good point.
I'd rather
You
Married
just kind of finger yourself?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No,
You
you
have to
can
have-
pick up what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
you have to have a big home.
Wouldn't you rather be like the sort of narcissistic wellness expert than be married to the narcissistic wellness expert?
Yeah, but I'm mathematically eliminating becoming Gwyneth Paltrow. It's a
okay.
little late in the game
Yeah,
for me.
there's one.
I'm sorry, I thought this was a hypothetical.
It is.
You think being married to her is more realistic?
Well, I will say this: it is technically possible.
Biologically,
versus
I
not
understand.
possible.
Scientifically.
32 euros is 37,000.
No.
Casey, I look at cars in Europe, so I'm always tuned up to the dollar versus the euro.
Besides just the money, what would be the
I
upside?
look at cars in Europe.
So, I just feel like, well, she's attractive.
Yeah, but she'd have you drinking like mud and
She
shit.
seems fun. I don't know if you could enjoy a hot dog in front of her or
No,
something.
No.
Would it always spill over? There's a male version. Mark Cuban's a go-getter.
Right.
He's doing everything. He's probably not a drill sergeant to his wife. You know what I mean? Like he's probably chillax
Yeah,
around the house.
but think of somebody-
We assume the women are as they are.
Right.
Where guys, we go, hey, he probably takes his foot off the accelerator when he gets home.
Well, let's not forget that Gwyneth also has a thriving acting career. Like she's in the Marvel movies. Like she acts a lot. She's gonna be gone.
Yeah, time away is
4
nice.
months out of the year.
Yeah.
That's good. But then you think of guys like I would say a more one-to-one comparison, maybe though not apples to apples, is like someone like Tim Ferriss, who I don't think takes his foot off the gas. With his 10xing his life. I think that would be tough too.
Ironically, she's
Maybe
maybe get down to
she-
4 days a week. of
That's
work.
right.
Maybe she invented her snatch candle because she's on the road so much.
yeah, here,
and
smell
her
this.
man,
Okay,
who probably
okay.
missed her.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, like when you-
sensory.
when you
Here's
go
a
out-
little part of me.
yeah.
Oh, you go out for a long time, you leave the radio on for your dog.
Sure.
Yeah.
Precisely.
like that.
I don't get lonely.
Exactly. Analogous
Precisely.
to that. It's precisely
Right.
it.
She also has a candle that she claims smells like her orgasm, which I don't know how that works, but that
Oh,
is another
really?
candle. Yeah.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, or in the middle somewhere, there's Keeps. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications to prevent hair loss. Keeps offers both. That's right. So if you're losing your hair, you got to stop, and you got to get Keeps. That's how it works. Let's get it going now. It's a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months in discreet packaging. Low-cost treatments start at just $10 per month. Proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than its competitors. Check it out before. You can check out the before and after photos online and see just how good it works. Prevention is key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results. So act fast. Let's get going with Keeps, right, Dawson?
If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/Adam to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/Adam to get your first month free. keeps.com/Adam.
Do you know of people that are into
No,
that?
this is a
Most people I
by the
know.
way, this is a bogus call
Most
because
people I know.
every Loveline bogus call we ever got was, is it normal to put a bowling pin in my asshole? Yes. As a matter of fact, I got my
What do you
my
think I'm
parents'
sitting on?
bowling pins. Yeah, that's right.
We have the mounts in our chairs.
Yeah.